know that the law says that you can exhaust all avenues of appeal when it comes to something. But we're dealing with many things here. The question we asked about something that's impeachable and somebody has actually gone through the process and has actually been impeached. Should this person then be allowed to come back and run for public office? That's one. But then we're also seeing very many scenarios play out in the moment. One of them is this very public case of Albert Ojwang, whereby we're hearing that the orders to commit a crime were given from the very top. And this is one of the runners in this entire activity who has said this happened. Now, in cases like that, should the people along this trail actually say, you know what, let me then step aside and allow investigations to continue? This is all happening within the same vacuum whereby somebody has gone through a court case, has had charges preferred against them, has gone through trial, has been convicted, has been sentenced and fined, and has actually served time in prison, can come back and be cleared by EACC, IEBC, everybody see, and then still come and run for an election and win and sit in parliament. Okay? That has happened in Kenya. Justice Lynn Ngugi, which maybe set precedent in one way or another some years ago, in the two cases of former Governor Ferdinand Waitito and former Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko, said, if we are investigating a certain thing, we ask you to step aside from office. The same thing was preferred upon George Natembe some months ago, where he was told, for the next 60 days, we don't need you here. Now, what does that mean? You take your office with you, you don't come to the physical premises, you don't continue doing your duties so you see how many things we're asking at the same time, Wakili. What is the actual status?
When I walked in, you were saying how the law is very clear.
Indeed.
I remember when I was doing my pupillage, my pupil master used to tell me that the law is very clear, but he cannot guarantee my eyesight. So it depends from which part of the law you're reading it. So that was he used to tell me that back in the day. May he rest in peace. So you asked very fundamental questions. Number one, let's just take even the Albert Ojwang case. As you rightfully say, there are names that are being thrown left, right, and center as to possible people that had a say or had played a role in this case. Now, the reason why we came up with the issue of stepping aside, why it works most of the time, for example, in corruption cases, you see, if you are found to have any corruption case, if you're a CS or a PS or supply chain manager, procurement, you step aside so as not to interfere with investigation. So when you're out there, you're barred from actually getting in touch with witnesses, or because if you're in office and you're being investigated, we are human beings. You will cover your tracks. We have to be honest. Now, if we were in a functional democracy, a country governed properly by law, because yes, you're governed by law, but now it depends on which side of the law you are. The names that have been mentioned in the Albert Ojwang case should have already stepped aside, because you have to clear your name. That's an allegation. Whether it's true or not, you first clear your name, then come back to office. If at all, you have to come back to office. We saw scenarios where during Kibaki's tenure, where CSs were stepped aside, Muraria, Murungaru. If you are unable to clear your name, then you never come back. Those who came back apparently cleared their names. We don't know if at all they really cleared them. So that is the essence of the law, because the law must be fair to each and every person, all and sundry. But we have a scenario where there are those animals that are more equal than others. So I do believe that the names mentioned must step aside, because we will not solve that case if the same people are still in office. That means someone is taking the fall. And then this raises the questions, because we were asking ourselves the other day as advocates, where all this footage is coming from? Because it seems now like someone is going to take the fall. Because all of a sudden there's so much evidence. Now there are footages and now there are many explanations. But at the end of the day, all these things just can't happen without authorization or a plan. So someone must be the mastermind. So even if those who are incarcerated or facing charges are found guilty, who sent them is the question that lingers in our heads as Kenyans, because we need to understand who benefits with Albert Ojwang dead. That is the question. Or injured. or maimed or hurt. You see, that is what we need to answer. If we answer that question, then we'll find the person culpable of his death. Now,